A transformed Earth rose from the ashes of its troubled past, its cities now radiant with hope and innovation. Towering structures of glass and steel reached towards a sky alive with shifting hues, their surfaces reflecting the promise of renewal. Nature had reclaimed her space amid sleek urban landscapes, vibrant parks and green corridors wove through futuristic streets, embodying a delicate balance between technology and the natural world. In the heart of this reimagined realm lay Nova Aurora, a metropolis pulsating with life and resilience. The city streets buzzed with the hum of renewable energy, smart displays, and creative murals, each telling stories of human triumph and perseverance. Beneath the glow of neon signs and digital billboards, remnants of past conflicts whispered like echoes, serving as a solemn reminder of the hardships overcome and the vigilance required to maintain peace. Aria Mason moved through this dynamic city with purposeful grace. A former aerospace engineer turned visionary military strategist, she carried the weight of personal loss and the burning desire to protect what had been so painstakingly rebuilt. Every step she took was a silent tribute to those who had fallen, a promise that their sacrifices would not be in vain. Her determined gaze, both soft with compassion and steely with resolve, captured the essence of a soul tempered by hardship yet inspired by hope. As Aria navigated the bustling avenues of Nova Aurora, memories of a life shattered by conflict merged with visions of a brighter future. The laughter of childhood, now a bittersweet symphony in her mind, intertwined with the resolve formed amid the ruins. Every neon light and every verdant leaf around her resonated with a promise of rebirth, a testament to humanity's unyielding spirit. Approaching a discreet meeting place tucked away in a quiet district of the city, Aria's thoughts swirled with plans and possibilities. This sanctuary of ideas was where brilliant minds gathered, plotting strategies that harnessed both advanced technology and the intrinsic strength of human unity. Here, amidst quiet conversations and determined exchanges, the future of the human race was being quietly redefined. In Nova Aurora, each new sunrise was more than a beginning. It was a proclamation of survival, a celebration of resilience, and a signal that a new era had dawned. For Aria Mason, this moment was both a homage to the enduring human spirit and a forewarning of the challenges that lay just beyond the horizon. A subtle dissonance crept through Nova Aurora, its once harmonious hum now punctuated by uneasy murmurs. In quiet corners of the city, whispers of discontent and apprehension began to ripple through the crowds. Despite the outward glow of neon and the promise of renewal, an undercurrent of uncertainty stirred, hinting at threats too ominous to ignore. Aria Mason, now a familiar figure among those who fought to protect this reborn world, found herself haunted by these murmurs. In a discreet backroom of an old repurposed community center, she met with trusted colleagues, scientists, strategists, and old friends, all gathered to discuss what they had come to suspect was the calm before an impending storm. "We've detected unusual energy readings near the orbital defenses," murmured Dr. Lien, a brilliant technologist whose eyes betrayed both worry and determination. The soft glow of holographic maps danced on the walls, tracing lines of data that hinted at something amiss far beyond the familiar rhythms of Earth. Across the table, Lieutenant Ramirez leaned forward, his voice low and resolute. "Our satellites have picked up unexplained signals, pulses that don't match any known patterns. It's as if something is probing us." His words resonated with the gravity of a threat silently gathering force. As Aria listened, memories of past turmoil merged with the present uncertainty. She recalled the quiet moments after a crisis when the world seemed to hold its breath, awaiting the next move of a relentless adversary. Now, the city itself whispered of hidden dangers, a reminder that even in times of peace, vigilance was a necessity. The room fell into reflective silence as each member processed the implications. Outside, Nova Aurora continued its lively pulse, unaware of the gathering storm. Yet Aria's mind raced, piecing together the puzzle. Could these mysterious signals be the precursor to an attack? Was the enemy studying them, waiting for the perfect moment to strike? Her thoughts were interrupted by a sudden transmission on her wrist communicator. The crackle of a familiar voice filled the small space. "Aria, you need to see this. There's been an anomaly at the northern grid," the message urged urgently. Without hesitation, she rose, her eyes hardening with resolve. The calm discussions gave way to swift, decisive action. Every minute counted, and even the faintest hint of a threat could not be dismissed. Stepping out into the cool twilight, Aria felt the dual pull of hope and fear. The cityscape around her shimmered with life, yet in every shadow and every glimmer of light, she sensed a hidden challenge. Nova Aurora, a symbol of human resilience, was on the verge of a new trial, one that would test not just their technological prowess, but the very heart of what it meant to be human. In that charged moment, as the evening deepened into night, the whispers of unease transformed into a silent promise that the coming storm, however fierce, would reveal the strength buried within every soul on Earth. A sudden and violent disruption shattered the delicate calm that had long cloaked Nova Aurora. In an instant, the peaceful hum of the city was replaced by the piercing wail of alarms and the panicked rush of its citizens. Without warning, colossal alien warships emerged from the void of space, their silhouettes dark against the shimmering city lights. A barrage of energy weapons lit up the sky as the invaders descended upon Earth with ruthless precision. Arya Mason, stationed in the command center of a fortified urban outpost, watched in disbelief as holographic screens displayed real-time images of devastation. Explosions rippled through the orbital defenses, and once proud structures crumbled under the relentless assault. The data that had been a mere whisper of unease now roared in undeniable urgency. The alien empire had launched a full-scale invasion. Her pulse quickened as she coordinated with her team, her voice steady but laced with urgency. All units, fall back to designated safe zones. Prepare for countermeasures, she ordered, her commands echoing through the chaos. Even as the command center became a battlefield of light and sound, Arya's mind raced through countless scenarios, a desperate attempt to foresee and forestall the enemy's next move. Outside, the streets of Nova Aurora transformed into corridors of chaos. Civilians scattered beneath the relentless barrage, seeking refuge in underground shelters as the alien forces advanced. The sky, once a canvas of soft hues and brilliant stars, now pulsed with harsh, alien illumination, a stark reminder of the formidable enemy that sought to extinguish Earth's fragile hope. Across the battlefield, the alien armada executed its strategy with chilling precision. Their weaponry, far more advanced than anything Earth had ever known, decimated defensive outposts and rendered conventional countermeasures nearly obsolete. Yet, amidst the terror and devastation, sparks of resistance ignited. Brave souls, driven by a blend of fear and defiance, rallied to defend their homes and the legacy of their civilization. Within the chaos, Arya found herself grappling with both the monumental scale of the invasion and the intimate weight of personal loss. Each explosion recalled memories of past sacrifices, and each falling building underscored the stakes of a war that could obliterate everything she held dear. Yet, even in the face of overwhelming odds, her resolve hardened into an unyielding determination to protect what remained of humanity. Amid the din of warfare, a solitary transmission reached her, a coded distress signal from a key research facility in the Northern District. Recognizing its potential importance, Arya quickly reconfigured her strategy. She knew that beyond the physical battleground, intelligence and innovation were her strongest weapons against an enemy that relied solely on brute force and calculated terror. As the alien forces tightened their grip on Nova Aurora, the city's vibrant spirit was not entirely quenched. In every defiant shout, every act of courage, and every whispered promise of survival, the true heart of humanity pulsed strongly against the encroaching darkness. The invasion, brutal and unanticipated, had unmasked a raw vulnerability, but it also sparked an indomitable fire within the souls of those who dared to fight back. In the midst of the unfolding nightmare, Arya Mason steeled herself. She realized that this was not just a battle for territory, it was a war for the very essence of human existence. The stage was set for a confrontation that would test the limits of human ingenuity and resilience, as Earth prepared to confront a foe whose very nature was as enigmatic as it was ruthless. In the aftermath of the initial assault, when chaos still roiled in the streets and the echoes of destruction mingled with desperate cries, Arya Mason emerged as a steadfast beacon of hope. Amid the shattered remnants of Nova Aurora, she set about uniting the scattered defenders, soldiers, scientists, engineers, and ordinary citizens into a cohesive force capable of defying the alien juggernaut. Inside a repurposed industrial warehouse on the outskirts of the city, dim light revealed an impromptu war room filled with fervor and determination. Makeshift tables were covered in holographic maps, tactical blueprints, and data streams flickering with urgent alerts. Here, Arya gathered a diverse cadre of experts, each scarred by loss yet fueled by the conviction that Earth's indomitable spirit could not be vanquished. "We cannot let fear fracture our unity," Arya declared, her voice resonating with authority. "Every setback is a call to rise stronger. Today, we stand not as isolated individuals, but as one resilient humanity." Her words, both a rallying cry and a personal vow, rippled through the room, transforming tentative hope into palpable resolve. Around her, the team exchanged determined glances. Lieutenant Ramirez, still bearing the marks of earlier battles, adjusted his tactical gear with renewed determination. Dr. Lien, whose analytical mind had deciphered the enigmatic signals from orbit, tapped rapidly on her portable console. Together, they formed a formidable nucleus of strategy and courage, each ready to play their part in the unfolding resistance. The meeting unfolded with a methodical intensity. Arya outlined a daring plan to reclaim critical infrastructure, the orbital defense arrays and power nodes that, if controlled, could turn the tide of battle. Plans were meticulously dissected and reassembled. Every detail, from covert communications to the timing of counterattacks, was scrutinized with surgical precision. The room pulsed with an electric synergy, a silent agreement that the stakes demanded nothing less than absolute commitment. As the discussions deepened, voices began to weave in stories of personal sacrifice and steadfast hope. A technician recalled the moment his young daughter had drawn a picture of a united city under a radiant sun, a symbol of resilience that had inspired him to fight back. A medic spoke of the quiet courage in the face of despair, of tending to wounds both physical and emotional. Each narrative added a layer of humanity to the battle plan, transforming strategic objectives into heartfelt missions. Outside, the city's neon lights flickered amid the turmoil, a visual reminder of the civilization they fought to preserve. Even as distant explosions served as ominous punctuation to their deliberations, the assembled resistance found solace in their shared purpose. They were not merely reacting to an external threat. They were reclaiming the narrative of their own destiny, stitching together a tapestry of hope from the frayed edges of loss. With the battle strategy set, Arya mobilized her new coalition. Teams dispersed into the night, each unit tasked with a critical objective designed to strike back at the invaders. From stealthy reconnaissance missions in the labyrinthine alleyways of Nova Aurora to coordinated strikes on strategic outposts, every effort was a testament to the human capacity for innovation under duress. As she surveyed her mobilized forces one final time before the dawn of renewed conflict, Arya felt a profound connection to every soul determined to resist. The resistance was no longer a desperate stand. It had evolved into a dynamic movement, one fueled by ingenuity, unity, and the unwavering belief that humanity's true strength lay in its capacity to come together when all seemed lost. In that moment, beneath the fading glow of the beleaguered city lights, the rallying cry echoed, a promise that the fight was far from over, and that the spirit of Earth, united and resolute, would rise again. In the silent corridors of a once-forgotten underground bunker, the Resistance's pulse quickened to the rhythm of covert strategy. Dimly lit by flickering screens and the soft hum of makeshift generators, Arya Mason and her core team gathered around a rugged table covered in maps, schematics, and intercepted transmissions. Every detail, every obscure signal was a clue, a piece of a puzzle that could unmask the invaders' hidden vulnerabilities. These energy readings, Dr. Lien began, her voice measured yet intense, suggest there's a structural anomaly in their shielding systems. It's subtle, but if we exploit it, we might disrupt their coordination. Her finger traced a series of erratic blips on a holographic display, each one marking a point of potential weakness. The team leaned in, eyes reflecting both hope and the gravity of their mission. Lieutenant Ramirez, ever the pragmatist, nodded. We need a diversion, a simultaneous strike on their forward operating bases. That'll force them to reallocate resources, leaving that weak spot exposed. His tactical insight was met with murmurs of agreement and silent determination from the group. In that charged atmosphere, every plan was a lifeline. Every calculated risk a step toward reclaiming their world. As strategies were exchanged and plans refined, Arya's mind wandered through a labyrinth of possibilities. Memories of past battles, where hope had often been a whisper against the roar of destruction, lent her strength. With steely resolve, she interjected, "We strike at dawn. We'll send specialized teams to create chaos on multiple fronts. Our goal is simple, force them to reveal their hand." Her voice, calm yet commanding, resonated with the urgency of a leader who had seen the cost of hesitation. Plans solidified into action. Covert teams were assigned precise roles, stealth recon units to gather real-time intelligence, sabotage experts to disable key communication nodes, and strike teams to target the enemy's supply lines. Every detail was dissected and debated, and every member of the resistance was aware that success hinged on their coordinated precision. In a quiet corner of the bunker, as the session drew to a close, Arya paused with a thoughtful glance at a faded photograph pinned to the wall. It was a relic from another time, a reminder of a world that had once thrived in unity and creativity. That image, emblematic of all they fought to preserve, sparked a renewed fire within her. This was not just a military engagement, It was a battle for the soul of humanity. As the teams dispersed into the night, the atmosphere shifted from tense planning to determined action. The bunker, a crucible of hope amid encroaching darkness, became a symbol of resistance, a place where shadows of strategy turned into the brilliant light of ingenuity. Each step taken, every coded message sent into the void, was a calculated maneuver in a high-stakes game of cosmic chess. Outside, the city of Nova Aurora lay quiet for a brief moment, a deceptive calm before the impending storm of battle. And in that stillness, the spirit of defiance burned brighter than ever. The enemy might have possessed advanced weaponry and overwhelming force, but they had yet to reckon with the indomitable human will to survive and to fight back. Under the watchful eyes of their leaders and amidst the silent promise of victory, the resistance prepared to strike. In the shadows of strategy, every mind was a soldier, every heartbeat a declaration. Humanity would never be subdued. The calm before dawn shattered into a maelstrom of fire and fury. At the break of day, Nova Aurora became the battleground where hope clashed with the overwhelming force of the alien invaders. The horizon, once painted with the soft pastels of a new beginning, now burned with the harsh, searing light of conflict. Explosions rippled like shockwaves across the urban sprawl, and the roar of energy weapons filled the air with a deafening, relentless cadence. Arya Mason stood at the forefront of the resistance, her face set in a mask of steely determination. Surrounded by her elite strike team, she advanced through the chaos with unwavering resolve. Each step was measured and purposeful, a defiant challenge to an enemy that seemed to wield the cosmos itself as a weapon. Around her, the city was alive with desperate courage, soldiers, engineers, and ordinary citizens fighting side by side, united by the singular purpose of survival. Every skirmish became a testament to the raw, unyielding spirit of humanity. In the narrow alleys and shattered avenues, guerrilla fighters executed swift, coordinated strikes against alien patrols. Their improvised tactics, honed by necessity and driven by sheer will, inflicted small but significant blows on the enemy's advance. The sound of laser fire mingled with the cries of the wounded and the determined shouts of the resistance, creating a symphony of defiance against the relentless barrage. High above the ravaged cityscape, an epic confrontation unfolded between Arya and the relentless forces of the alien empire. The enemy's advanced warships loomed like ominous specters, unleashing torrents of energy that tore through defenses and sent shockwaves rippling through the streets below. In the midst of this pandemonium, Arya's mind remained razor-sharp. She directed her team with precision, orchestrating counterattacks that exploited the vulnerabilities revealed in their earlier strategies. At the center of the maelstrom, Arya locked eyes with one of the alien commanders, a chilling encounter that encapsulated the profound divide between two vastly different worlds. For a fleeting moment, time seemed to slow as she faced a being whose expression was an unreadable mask of alien logic and ruthless intent. Their silent standoff was a clash not only of arms but of philosophies, the cold efficiency of an empire built on dominance versus the impassioned resilience of a people who fought for the very essence of life itself. In that charged moment, the battlefield became a crucible where every heartbeat was a prayer, every breath a silent defiance. The ground trembled with the force of relentless combat, and yet amid the chaos, moments of unexpected grace emerged, soldiers rescuing fallen comrades, strangers offering aid without hesitation, and even the alien commander, momentarily disarmed by the unyielding spirit that radiated from the human fighters. As the day wore on and the battle escalated, Arya's strategic brilliance shone through the haze of conflict. She initiated a series of rapid, coordinated strikes that forced the invaders into disarray. With each tactical maneuver, the invaders' seemingly invincible armor began to falter, and the relentless tide of resistance surged forward. The city, scarred yet defiant, bore witness to the transformation of fear into a fierce, unbreakable will to fight. In the heart of the battle, where chaos reigned supreme and sacrifice was the currency of survival, Nova Aurora fought not merely for territory but for the enduring soul of humanity. Every shattered building and every echo of lost lives served as a somber reminder of what was at stake, and as a spark that ignited the fervor of those who dared to defy the dark. The clash of alien might and human ingenuity roared on, a living testament to the belief that even in the depths of despair, the human spirit could rise, unbowed and unbroken. In the suffocating quiet that followed the storm of battle, a heavy silence settled over Nova Aurora. The once vibrant city lay scarred and broken, its neon lights flickering in a mournful tribute to the cost of survival. Amid the rubble and lingering haze of conflict, the resistance now faced the raw, unvarnished truth of war. Victory was never without sacrifice. Arya Mason walked slowly through the remnants of a once bustling district, her eyes tracing the jagged silhouettes of shattered buildings and the silent memorials erected by those who had fallen. Every step she took was weighted with memory of comrades lost, of dreams sacrificed in the relentless struggle for freedom. Yet, even in the midst of desolation, there was a palpable undercurrent of hope, a quiet determination that refused to be quenched. In a makeshift triage center set up in a repurposed community hall, wounded fighters tended to each other under the gentle glow of improvised lanterns. The air was thick with whispered reassurances and shared resolve. Here, amidst the tender care of medics and the soft murmur of condolences, the true heart of the resistance was revealed. It was not defined by the firepower of their enemies but by the unity and compassion that bound them together in their darkest hours. General Kronos, the relentless architect of the invasion, now found himself in an unfamiliar position. In a series of terse, conflicted transmissions with his officers, hints of uncertainty emerged. The unyielding logic that had driven his conquest was now challenged by the raw human spirit he encountered on the battlefield. In one such exchange, his voice, usually cold and commanding, carried an unusual tremor, a silent acknowledgement that the indomitable will of the people was a force beyond mere calculations of power. As the immediate chaos gave way to reflective quiet, Arya gathered her closest advisors in a subdued war room. There, amid maps marked with battle scars and faded coordinates of lost strongholds, strategies for rebuilding began to take shape. The discussions were laced with sorrow and regret, yet underscored by a resolute optimism. Every plan was a promise that the sacrifices made in the heat of battle would seed a future built on unity and renewal. Outside, the city of Nova Aurora stirred with tentative life. Civilians emerged from hidden shelters and underground networks, their cautious eyes reflecting both the grief of recent losses and the hopeful spark of a new beginning. In hushed conversations over makeshift fires, stories of heroism and loss intertwined, creating a tapestry of shared experience that would eventually knit together a stronger, more compassionate community. For Arya, the aftermath was a crucible of introspection. Standing atop the ruins of what was once a symbol of unbridled ambition, she allowed herself a rare moment of vulnerability. The weight of leadership pressed upon her, and every silent corner echoed with the memory of lives sacrificed. Yet, in that profound stillness, she also found the echo of an unbreakable promise, a commitment that the human spirit, resilient and tender, would rise again even from the deepest wounds. In that delicate balance between mourning and hope, the true strength of humanity was illuminated. The echoes of the past, filled with pain and courage alike, laid the foundation for a future where every heartbeat mattered. And as the survivors gathered to honor the fallen, a quiet revolution of compassion and resilience began to blossom, a testament to the belief that even in the aftermath of devastation, new beginnings could be forged from the embers of loss. As the final embers of conflict faded, a fragile peace began to cradle the battered city of Nova Aurora. The skyline, once jagged with the scars of war, now shimmered with the promise of rebirth, a symphony of resilient structures rising from the debris, bathed in the soft glow of renewal. Amidst the gentle hum of reconstruction, humanity embarked on a new chapter, where hope and unity reigned supreme. Arya Mason, standing on a restored balcony overlooking the rejuvenated streets, felt the weight of the past slowly lift from her shoulders. Every scar on the city was a testament to the sacrifices made, and every repaired building a symbol of their shared strength. In the aftermath of devastation, she saw not the remnants of despair, but the seeds of a future cultivated by the unyielding will of a people determined to rebuild their world on foundations of compassion and ingenuity. In community centers that once served as makeshift command posts, survivors gathered to share stories of valor and loss. Neighbors embraced as old divides dissolved in the collective effort to reclaim what had been almost lost. Public forums buzzed with ideas of new governance, urban planning, and sustainable technology, visions that fused the brilliance of science with the warmth of human connection. These meetings were more than strategic sessions, they were healing rituals, each conversation a stitch in the fabric of a renewed society. General Kronos, now a distant figure of a conquered ambition, became an emblem of transformation. Though his empire had retreated, the encounter with Earth's indomitable spirit left an indelible mark on the invader's legacy. The once unyielding doctrines of domination gave way to cautious introspection, a silent acknowledgement that power derived not solely from control, but from the unity and creativity of the people. His brief, conflicted transmissions had sparked a dialogue, one that questioned the very nature of strength and the possibility of redemption even for those who had once stood as ruthless oppressors. For Arya, The process of rebuilding was both personal and communal. As she led initiatives to restore lost technology, revive educational institutions, and nurture cultural expressions, she discovered that the true essence of leadership lay in empowering others. Her eyes often met those of young innovators and wise elders alike, each pair reflecting a spark of resilience that had survived the darkest hours. In these shared glances, the future of Earth was being written, a narrative where every life, every voice, contributed to the collective story of rebirth. The city celebrated its new beginning with a grand assembly in a vast, open square, a place where art, technology, and nature intertwined seamlessly. Lanterns floated into the twilight, each carrying the hopes and dreams of a people who had dared to rise again. Music filled the air, a melody of triumph and remembrance that resonated deeply within every heart. Amid the festivities, Arya addressed the gathering, her voice steady and imbued with quiet authority. Today, we stand together not as survivors of a terrible past, but as architects of a glorious future. Let the echoes of our shared history remind us that from every hardship, beauty can emerge. We rebuild not merely to restore what was lost, but to create something greater, an enduring legacy of hope, unity, and boundless innovation. As the night deepened, the lights of Nova Aurora danced like fireflies, illuminating the path ahead. The journey had been long and steeped in sorrow, but the resilience of the human spirit had prevailed. In the harmonious blend of rebuilt dreams and the newfound wisdom of unity, a new order was born, a society where strength was measured by empathy, creativity, and the courage to envision a better tomorrow. The promise of this new era, tender and profound, resonated in every heartbeat, every shared smile, and every step taken towards a horizon where the future was as bright as the morning sun.